industry, I think, like the way I look at it, perhaps not only pharma industry, any industry in the world is divided into three parts, three major buckets. First bucket is around hunting, wherein we go and we hunt for new customers. Second bucket is around farming, wherein we get more repeat orders or we try to get more repeat orders from our ongoing customers. And the third and the important aspect of it is the productivity. When we say productivity, profitability, your ability to do more with less comes into play. Now, digital or analytics, we call it DNA these days. So DNA is a horizontal amongst all the three. If your marketing team today is reaching out to suppose 2,000 people in a B2B segment, which is very less. With digital, you will be able to reach out to 2 lakh, you will be able to 20 lakh, you will be able to reach to 2 crores, right? There's no limit. You cannot even define that how many people can be reached out because of digital. The scalability part of it it can be brought in by digital. So from a roadmap perspective, I think the pharma industry, like you rightly said, has been a laggard, and thanks to COVID, things have changed, things have improved now. I am seeing the change even in the mindset, which is a bigger thing to have within a pharmaceutical space. Before I go and ask for approvals, it used to be a big fight between the CFO, CEO to lend single penny out of it for digital initiatives. Nowadays, because of COVID, they understood that working from home is real. Digital is here and knocking the door. So I think the mindset change has happened over the past couple of years, which has led for us to build a stronger business case, and the conviction is there now. That I sit in a board and ask for some money, and that money does not go. That conversation that does not go in air. The conversation is to the point, and we are able to talk about value, what value the digital can bring in, and that is the change. That first mindset change is what I think has happened in the past few years. From a road mapping perspective, again coming back to the topic, I think the pharmaceutical industry has caught up to a certain extent. But if you compare pharmaceutical industry with a fintech kind of a technology companies, we are nowhere there because they are at a different level, and pharmaceutical industry is nowhere near. We're talking about Industry 4.0, but many people don't understand what is Industry 4.0. We are talking about AI, and I will talk about AI very detailed rather, because AI is something which I feel is going to change and disrupt pharmaceutical space in the future. But the way people talk about AI is very casual. But trust me, no model can be built on the data what we have. Data has to be clean. The data sets has to be right. Sometimes you have to buy data from outside, do a model on top of it, and it has to continuously evolve as a AI engine. Right? People try to do ML, and they are unable to differentiate between AI and ML. And they say that okay, we are doing some AI. Thanks to ChatGPTs of the world, people are now using AI in their day-to-day lives as well. But ChatGPT has tons and tons, millions of data sets which are fed to ChatGPT to give you the results. So in pharmaceutical space today, the ability to extract the data is limited many times. Like there is a OT layer and then there's IT layer, so operational technology layer, right? So at the OT layer, how do you extract the data from your equipment, from your instrument, from your machine, using some historian or some kind of a middleware, and then put it on top to your data lake, and then use that data to actually predict that, hey, this particular machine, if at all I run at so and so parameter based on my previous learnings, this particular machine is about to give me 85% yield. Right? So you are ultimately using the machines optimally, and you are able to predict that how many times this particular machine can fail in the future, and you can do preventive maintenance upfront. So that is the change what we are seeing in the pharmaceutical space, at least in manufacturing perspective. When you talk about ancillaries like QC, quality control. Now QC, there used to be a time where a batch release used to take 3 to 4 days, and the customer is waiting, the truck is waiting outside, but the QC is not yet done. Now there are technologies like RPAs. Now bots are coming in and doing the QC release on behalf of a person using those checklist items or business rules, using a set business rule. And the same 3 to 4 days is now reduced to 30 minutes to 40 minutes. And the batches are getting released in no time. So you are able to do as many sea consignment as possible than air consignments. And so that in a way you can save cost, and at the end of the day, meet your SLA to the service level to the clients, and you are also able to reach to the destination on time because you are going by sea before time, right? So I think automation is one of the important levers which is driving the pharmaceutical industry to the next level, at least in manufacturing space. I'm talking about manufacturing space because I'm sure in India we mostly are generics market and we are the world's pharmacy. So we manufacture in bulk. So from manufacturing glance, I think automation of our current processes is the next wave. Second is around AI, ML, DL, deep learning, and NLP. So these techs around the data analytics, advanced analytics, will be a game changer. And in next 12 to 18 months, I think we will see more and more use cases coming up for ChatGPT, for AI for doing patient monitoring remotely, and also doing AI-led maybe a lot of initiatives which we can simulate and we can predict that what molecule will fail, what molecule will pass. Even FDA has come up with a paper that they have start accepting results driven by AI. So there is a change. Like I started the conversation with the mindset change. The mindset change has happened in the industry and also at the regulatory side. So in next 12 to 18 months, I think the AI engine will start kicking in. People have started feeling the heat, but no one has actually seen AI in action apart from ChatGPT. And this is my firm belief that the data set what we have plus some data set from outside will help us to yield better AI-based models, which will be transformational, which will improve our productivity to a larger extent, and automation. Automation is the next big thing as well. So robotic process automation or any process automation, process elimination, and then automation wherever required, so that you can reduce not on the manpower but also dependency on the manual errors, right? And or whatever issues we keep on facing, all those can be eradicated. So I think the key buzzword from my 5 minutes of discussion here is I think automation is something which will hit us very soon, very strong. If not hit, at least I am feeling it and I'm using it in my companies. Then second thing is around I think AI. ChatGPT is a day-to-day affair, and I'm sure this will become big. AI will strongly hit pharmaceutical industry in next 12 to 18 months. I think. So I think it's a very important question. I started from AI with the assumption that we will have the systems in place. But yes, absolutely. If at all someone has just begun the digital transformation journey for their companies, I think it's first and foremost important thing is to understand the source of data and digitize it at the source. Rather than, so there are many ways paper to glass, there are many ways paper to digital. So it depends on your capacity or your appetite. Ideally, what should happen is every data point, whatever it is happening in the company, at manufacturing level, at R&D level, or even at the markets level, should be captured in some system, some or the other system. It can be a CRM system if you are a sales rep, or if you are a MR talking to a doctor, it should be captured in the CLM, a closed loop marketing kind of an engine. If at all you are manufacturer, you are an operator, it should be captured in your MES kind of a system. If you are quality control, you should be capturing it in LIMS, LIMS. If you are talking about R&D, it should be about Empowers of the world, of the ELMs of the world. There are many systems, right? So idea is that initial first step is to digitize the code, wherein you are doing the foundational work, right? Wherein you are trying to set up some system at the core operations of your company. That's the first step. While we do that, I think one important layer which all of us miss, and I think it is extremely important, is the enterprise architecture. Your systems should not be silos. I mean, they should keep on talking to each other. Like if you have an SAP system and you also have a MES system or you also have a LIMS system, if they don't talk to each other, then you end up creating duplicacy. You will not be able to make sense of the data. What is my process order? Where is it going? Which product I'm running on the shop floor? Which R&D which lab is doing what R&D? What is the yield? We will not be able to do any analytics on top of it. So enterprise architecture is an important layer in connecting the dots. I think the system should not be in silos. They should talk to each other and they should build on each other's data. This can also be achieved in multiple ways. One way of achieving it is to have a peer-to-peer integrations. Your SAP will talk to the downstream system, or Oracle can talk to downstream systems, upstream systems, and so on and so forth. Or it can also happen at a data lake level, wherein you define that I will put everything on data lake and I will marry the data there at the data lake. So that my analytics in the future, I will be able to understand for a customer how many development experiments I have done, or how many batches I have manufactured, how many QC, how many batches I have released for a particular customer, and vice versa. Any and everything can be possible if you have the right systems in place. So first and foremost thing is digitizing the code, wherein you are working on the foundational aspect of it, keeping in line the enterprise architecture view, and keeping in line the use cases of the end state. I mean, many times we solve for the smaller pieces for today, but we don't appreciate or we don't have the vision for next 5 years. So if at all in next 5 years, AI ML will disrupt the whole space, then you need the data. So thinking of drop downs and not text is an important decision to be made when you define a system. If you have a text, your data is gone. I mean, you will have to do a text mining algorithm to understand and make sense out of it. Versus if you have a drop down, someone has created a drop down from day one, and you have a mine of data. You are sitting on a gold mine of data, and that data can be used for analytics in the future. Not AI ML perhaps, but at least for doing some basic analytics, some basic dashboards. So I think have a vision, end game of 5 years at what exactly you want to achieve, and then start building the respective system at the core. Start building those with the enterprise architecture lens and with the end game of achieving that analytics layer on top will solve the whole problem, and the digital journey will be seamless without any issue, I'm sure. I think one important aspect is people are moving from project management to product management. While you move to product management, we talk about jargons like DevOps and many other things. But I think people forget security as well. So it should be DevSecOps whenever you are moving there. And security is a no-brainer. Security, there is no compromise. At least I don't compromise anything on security. Because at the end of the day, data is most important thing. Like I'm telling about analytics use cases, that data has no meaning if it is stolen by someone and charging for it. Right? So definitely, I think it's a no-brainer. Security is another aspect which everyone should be cognizant of, and we all should take care of the security aspect of it. That is important. Other challenges, I think, from a expectation standpoint, has been a bigger challenge for me, and I see it will be there for almost everyone. The questions are now getting asked that if I give you $1 million, can you give me 10 million back? So expectation of 10x, expectation of 100x has started kicking in. And while we go and ask for some funding, the investor actually comes back to us saying that, hey, look, I'll be ready to give you 100 million. Will you give me 1,000 million back in some shape and form? And that some shape and form can be a top line impact, top line revenue, can be a bottom line impact, or it can also be around productivity. That the same team who was doing, suppose, 10 batches in a month, for example, can now do 100 batches in a month. So that is also an impact. So expectations have risen like anything. And a digital team today in any organization, in-house digital team, might not survive if they are not able to meet those expectations and deliver it on a regular interval. Like it cannot happen that you start a project now and do it and deliver it after 3 years. No one will fund you for 3 years. So you need to have a strategy which is like you target your low-hanging fruits first, show early successes, do an iterative approach of product management, agile product management rather, and keep on building, keep on showing results at a very small intervals, and keep on winning trust. The more confidence you get from your CEOs or the top management, you will get fundings. The expectations whichever were there will slowly start coming to the reality as well. So it will become easier role for you rather than thinking and struggling that 10x, how will I do 10x? Will not be that easy. So expectations is another challenge what I feel every CIO will go through, which I am also going through. Yeah, that's something which we should work. We at pharmaceutical industry have seen is the shifting focus on the customer centricity. I think we did not cover that. And I think it's important for you guys to also look at it from analyst level. Like for example, the customer centricity could be around your patients. It could be also around other pharmaceutical companies. It could also be around doctors, perhaps. Right? So customer centricity has also taken a center stage now. We are monitoring a patient at an ambulance at his home using Apple Watch or whatever watches people are using. So all those, the whole monitoring part of it, whole customer centricity part of it, the experience, customer experience has become one of the important levers for us at the pharmaceutical space. And equally important to have a secured way of doing it, absolutely. But yeah, I think the customer security is one more, customer centricity is one more important pillar for whatever journey we are embarking.